Okay, here we're going to talk about orbiting electrodes. To start with, we're going to do some simple samples. First, we're going to select the origin as that. If that's the part to treat, we're going to go Z negative, and we're going to try an orbiting trode. Let's start with this first pocket here. I'm going to say OK. I'm going to say no base. Set that to 0, set that to an 1/8 inch. This way our molding detail will extend up an 1/8 inch to the end. And we're going to set our orbit to 10 thousandths. I'm going to say OK. And here, I'm just going to say OK. It finds all of my radiuses. I'll say OK, and boom. If we look at this head-on, you can see that the appropriate shifts have been made. This next example, you can see the radius here got bigger, but you can see there's a little bit of a face up there still. Let's try that. Last used direction, orbit, that face, and I'm going to use the same settings as before. In this case, we find all the radiuses again, and you can see the shift has been made appropriately. In this last example, we're actually going to have a problem orbiting. The reason being is, even though this is a radius, there's no face above it. So when I select it, say OK. If I use the same settings, in this case, it's only going to choose those fillets there. And here we get a function failure. Why? It's because it doesn't know what to do with this face. It can't extend it up the height I wanted. So if I undo, 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 and in this case, we're going to say don't follow the draft and just extend it for 100 thousandths. And let's go with that 10 thousandths spark gap again. And again, we still have a problem. And again, this is based on the fact that I'm trying to extend this up 100 thousandths, which is causing this to collapse back on itself. So in this case, you won't be able to use the orbiting function on this electrode directly.